Hi, I'm Tom Stevenson and welcome to Microsoft Project Made Easy. Today we are going to be looking at sorting, highlighting, and filtering inside Microsoft Project. Some of my other videos discuss everything from very beginning to developing a schedule, to adding resources, to updating and recovering a schedule. And if you're interested in more concrete long videos, those would be the ones I recommend. And if you check the show notes, you'll see at the bottom some links to those. And if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll see under the Microsoft Project playlist a whole variety of different MS Project videos that I'm sure will answer most of your questions. But today we're going to be just looking at highlighting, filtering, and sorting. So I have this schedule here, and this is a cost-loaded schedule, resource and cost-loaded. It's got activities listed down the side. It's got a pretty well-developed work breakdown structure. It's a construction project. If I slide to the left and I go to my resource sheet by right-clicking, you can see I've got a resource sheet with a whole bunch of different resources and costs applied. And if I within the resource sheet, check out the cost table. Just getting you used to switching screens. That's half of the battle in Microsoft Project. You can see that there's a whole pile of different costs that have been applied to these resources. So there is a cost table in the resource sheet. And I'm going to slide to the left again, right click, and go back to the Gantt chart. In the Gantt chart right now, we are currently in the entry view. So I clicked on this square icon box here. It selects everything. If you right click your mouse, you can see that we are currently in the entry view. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is Microsoft Project is like a database program in that you have a lot of information, a lot of different tables, and those tables communicate with each other, and there's a lot of data there. And the nice thing is if you put in all this data, you can filter it, you can highlight things, you can sort things to suit your purposes. So for example, we can filter. You see under the View tab, this is where we've got a whole bunch of tools that we can use to adjust things. There's a lot of things we can do in Microsoft Project, but simple stuff made easy. We can filter. So for example, if I click this pull down on the filter, I can filter for a specific date range. I can take a date range. So for example, maybe I wanted to only see the activities that would say start from June 16th, 2021. So let's go to June 16th, 2021. Actually, let's make it the 14th. From the 14th, right? And click OK. And then I want to go to June. I want to go actually 14th, I want to count out 1, 2, 3 weeks, 4, 5, 6 weeks. So at the end of 6 weeks, I'm going to click OK. And that's just going to show me activities that start from June 14th that go out 6 weeks. And so these are all the activities that are occurring during that time period. That is really great to be able to just sort that out, because you could have activities that they're separated from each other with 30, 40 other activities in between, and you just want to see what's coming up in the next 6 weeks. So this would sort all that information out and give you what's coming up in that. No matter what order those activities were in, it would just filter all the other ones out. Everything is still linked here, and if we shrink this down a little bit, we can sort of see it perhaps a little bit better here. And you can see some of the numbers, they go from 29 to 31. So these ones are fairly well in order, but generally you'll see that it'll filter out certain activities wherever just to show the information that you want between that time period. So those of you in construction would know that we do short-term planning as well as long-term planning. We have short-term look-ahead schedules. You might have a project that's 2 years long and you just want to see the next 3 weeks or the next 3 months. You can filter that and get a good handle on what work is coming up in the short term. And then you can detail, you can copy and paste that into another file. You can detail that out with more detail in the short-term scheduling process. Very, very helpful tool to know that you can really focus in on a date range and filter that information using the View tab, the Filter Date Range. Now, one thing I'm going to caution you about, if you're using filters, just remember you filtered it, because otherwise you're going to sit down and you're going to be like, oh my goodness, where did all the rest of my activities go? Just look, it says filter and it says date range. See here, it says no highlight, no group, but here it says date range. You go in there, you say no filter, and everything's back as it was. So that's a very helpful tool to be able to do that. Look what else you can filter for. You can filter by resource. I only want to see the information for a particular resource. So what do we got? Concrete forming sub. Let's go to that particular sub. If we can find that sub, there we go. Concrete forming sub, click OK. Now we see for the whole project all of the work that that concrete forming sub is doing for us and the expected dates. You know, we could print this, we could send them a copy of this, we could take a screenshot of this, and that would be just giving them their work, because they're just concerned about when they need to be there, and you're just concerned that they actually show up when they're supposed to show up. So we can filter out information by trades, because on a big project, you could have, in a construction project, you could have many different trades, suppliers, employees working on the project. This way you can look at any specific trade that you want or resource that you want in there. If I want to get rid of it, no filter. The other thing you can do is if you didn't want to filter it, you just wanted to highlight it, you can go to the highlight tool here, and you could say, I just want to highlight the critical activities, and it will highlight all the critical activities on your project. So anything critical, it will highlight. Anything on the critical path, longest path to complete the project. If you don't know what that is, you can check one of my other videos. I'm just going to go no highlight here. So that just removes it. I could highlight if I wanted a particular resource. So just only show me the plumbing sub. And then this will highlight the work of the plumbing sub. Not got too much going on with the plumbing sub there. Right? So these are the activities that the plumbing sub is working on. And I could say, in this case, I could say no highlight, and that gets rid of it. The other thing I can do is I can group this. So I can group this by resources. So it lines all up the resources by the resource. So you can see them by the resource, who's doing what, and it's got it all organized. Now, of course, it's all up and down, and the numbers are going to be all over the place. Because they're grouped by resource. But if I wanted to just do a quick sort of review of dates for resources, I could easily sort it that way. And I can roll that up and I can roll that down if I want to. But again, remember, you sorted it by resource, just say no group, and that will remove that filter from it. The other thing, quite honestly, that can be very useful that people aren't aware of, you can go to the Format tab and you can click on, see where it says Summary Tasks over here? You can make all of your summary tasks disappear for now. So now all you have is the activities. And what you can do with this is you can then sort it from earliest to latest. So it would resort things from earliest dates to late dates. So everything is now in order as to how the project is going to be running by dates. So everything gets sorted from that perspective of how it's going to be running by dates. Exactly in order, which may not be how you had it before, right? You probably had, before it was probably sorted by unit number, so by ID number. Every activity has its own unique ID number, and that's the default unless you do some other different sorting. If I want to sort this by ID number, because you can see that goes 66, 89, 73, 67, 68, 90. It's not in order. If I wanted it to go back in order, if I go to the View tab, you just pull this down, and you go sort by ID, and that will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in that kind of order. I'll just bring this scroll to task. This is the shortcut to bring whatever activity you are up on your screen. And now they're not in specific order anymore. Like they are in a specific unit order, but they're not from earliest to latest, as you can sort of see how they're not in that same particular order. That's very nice. That's a helpful tool, because you might want to just look at it. I want to see it in order. Many projects, larger projects, will have quite a separation between activities and dates, and you're scrolling up and down. I just want to follow what's coming up in the order that this project is going to be built. But having a summary task is great, because that organizes us. Having a good work breakdown structure, that organizes our project under normal circumstances, that we got areas of work so we don't miss areas of work when we're developing the schedule. When we're doing cost control, it's great to have a work breakdown structure. So I want that back right now. And to bring that back, all I got to do is turn on my format summary tasks. And if you don't know how to create a work breakdown structure, look at one of my early videos like tutorial 1, and you'll see how you create a summary task, project summary task for your project. Okay, so, oops, I clicked the wrong one there. So I want to go summary task. I said project summary task, didn't I? I want summary task. There you go. They're all back on that order. And you can see them all listed there for your overall project, and they can roll up and roll down. Now, one more thing with formatting and the view and the sorting and the highlighting there. If we go to format, we can also go to, see where it says text styles over here? There's a lot of stuff we can do there too. If you click on that, if you want to, by the way, if you want to change the size of the text for the whole, it's too big or it's too small, you can make it bigger. Click 14, and that'll make everything bigger, your print for the whole thing. You may not want that, too big for me, but sometimes when I'm working on a projection screen and that sort of thing, I want to make the print larger, I can do that. The other thing, I can go to text styles, and some contractors that I work with like to do this. They may pull this down, and you see where it says critical tasks? You've got all these different customizations you can do. Critical tasks, and you can say, you know what, I want the critical tasks bold, and I want them in red, just to stand out, to pop. And now any of the critical tasks will show in red and bold over here. Any of the non-critical ones, they're still in your, black and white. But the critical ones, they are now in bold and they are in red. So whatever's red here should correspond with what's red there. Some people like that, to pop that out. And of course, if I made that red, I could still filter it just for the critical tasks. Remember, go to the View tab, click on Critical, and voila. You've got the critical tasks. The only one that it'll show two, because they're critical, they don't show up as red, is the milestones. So these are milestones. When there's 0 days, they are a milestone date. And if I wanted to, I could always make them red too. I could go to milestones and make them red if I wanted to as well. So I'm just going to go back to all, and I'm going to click on bold. I'm going to click on regular, and I'm going to say automatic color. That'll give me the black, and I'll go OK. And I'm back to normal here. And you may have noticed that I don't have these bold anymore, so I forgot to keep it bold. So I'm just going to go back here, and I'm going to go into where it says summary tasks, and I'm going to say I'd like them bold, because I kind of unbolded the normal stuff there. So that brings them back to bold. Okay. So we've got all of that information in there. You can think about things like if you want to sort stuff or you want to filter things, likely you can do it in Microsoft Project. Very, very strong likelihood you can do it. Even if I go across to the left and I right click and I go to calendar, if I'm in the calendar and I go to my view, you still have that you can filter things. So for example, if we were, say, let's pick a month here that I know is pretty busy. Let's go to October or September. This is a pretty busy month. If I wanted to filter and I just wanted to see a particular trade, so I just wanted to print off for a particular trade, I could go for here. I could say that I just want the trade that is here, the plumbing sub. If I click plumbing sub, it only leaves the work that the plumbing sub is doing, right? So I could print this calendar off, and these are the days and the times that this plumbing subcontractor is expected. So they're going to start on the Friday and they're going to finish on the Wednesday. These are non-working days, the Saturday and the Sunday, by the hatching. Because sometimes when you're dealing with trades and things like that, they prefer to just have a printed calendar, and you don't want to print it with all the other resources on it. You just want to print it with that particular resource that you're using. So again, you can set that up, but you've got to remember, get rid of the filter if you don't want it anymore, and then that will be gone. So this filtering tool is very helpful in MS Project for those reasons. So today we've looked at how do we sort, right? We talked about removing the work breakdown structure heading, the summary task headings, and then we talked about sorting, and we sorted earliest to latest. You could do it reverse if you wanted to. You could sort pretty much any way that you wanted to with activities, but probably that's the most useful one, the one that I showed you. Sometimes it's just doing it and it's not helping you. So it's really, you want it to help you, and that's the whole reason that you do it. We looked at highlighting. We looked at grouping. So we could do all of those areas and be able to highlight and group. And then the big one was filtering. Very, very helpful. Date ranges by resource. Very helpful. You're doing short-term planning, or you just want to see a particular resource and dates, what they're going to be doing. Nice. Saves you a lot of time, saves you a lot of effort. So hopefully this quick video has helped you understand. You've got the data in here. You might as well use it. And that makes Microsoft Project easy to work with, easy to use, and you really leverage all this information and data you put into it. So I'm Tom Stevenson, wishing you a wonderful day, and please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out more of the videos on MS Project and a whole array of other videos in the realm of construction and construction management, project management, and business management. Bye for now.